I had a realization that I need to get down on video before I fall asleep. So I was thinking about why evil happens, because I think humans are inherently, we know that we want to do good and we should do good. And at the end of the day, despite however sinful, however bad, whatever bad things we may do as humans, we still would like to be good humans and do good and spread love, and everyone knows that's the best thing in life, I guess. But why do people not do that? And I think it's because it's like this sunken cost fallacy of sin and doing evil. So it's like if once you kind of do evil a little bit in order to justify you doing your ego, because as humans we don't want to damage our egos, and in order for us to justify sinning, we have to kind of, and doing evil to others, we have to kind of think that life doesn't matter anyway. What nothing matters, nothing means anything. And that mindset, if you think about it, is basically the mindset of rejecting God. So the point is, the reason people do evil, or the justification of doing evil, is that God doesn't exist, which is absolutely correct. But people have to convince themselves that if they want to do evil, and either they don't want to get out of it, or they don't want to change who they are, or admit that they're wrong. And I think it's really interesting with the sunken cost fallacy, because I think once someone does some evil that they don't want to change, that then leads onto a whole other set of evils. And I think maybe that's what it means in the Bible, where it says once you expel a demon, and if it doesn't find a home, then it comes back and it finds its house clean and tidy, and then 7 more demons enter in. I think psychologically that is the fact that, let's say you realize that stealing things is bad, and then you're like, okay, I'm not gonna steal things anymore, and then you're going good, you're on you haven't stole anything for 2 years, and then one day your old friend comes and I don't know, you just end up stealing something. You in order to justify it now, because you know that it was bad, because it went against what you knew was bad, and you decided in your head that it was bad and that you wanted to change your ways, because you went against what you knew was bad, you have to justify it now by saying, oh, nothing matters anyway, and it didn't mean anything. And by doing so, you allow yourself to do every other bad thing which you've also been trying not to do. And I guess that's if you don't repent from stealing. That's if you don't want to admit that what you did is wrong. But I think in order for people to tolerate the pain of them knowing that something they did is wrong, they have to think that it's right. And the only way to think that it's right is to think that nothing matters in this life, and that accountability doesn't matter. And yeah, I think that's really interesting observation, I realized. And I think the problem with sin is that it holds you back. It doesn't allow you to grow and change and improve, because I think to improve your character. You have to be in a state where you're like morally at peace with yourself, because why is that? You have to be in a place where you're morally at peace with yourself, because then you won't think that life is meaningless, and then you think life is meaningful, and then because you think that life is meaningful, you'll be able to continue to grow and change and improve. So yeah, that's the problem with sin, because if you do willful sin, like sin you know you shouldn't do, or like evil you shouldn't know, or basically like lower, or like breaching your own standard. It doesn't even have to be like sinning against God in a sense. It's just like breaching your own standard you set yourself. Obviously, if you love God, your own standards will be God's standards, but you have to have your own standard right before you can do anything meaningful in life, because in order to breach those standards, you have to think that life is meaningless and nothing is nothing matters that much. And if people aren't actively thinking that, I feel like that's what you have to think about subconsciously to justify that. So the point is, I think everyone thinks that when they do willful sin, that's like that they know that they don't want to change. That I feel like that's the only way to justify it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I just really wanted to get this on video. So yeah, God bless.